どうもこんにちは、リターンです。ポーショノミクスやっていきましょう。渡してない素材3つも来た。そんじゃランクアップだ。
I shall make a confession, Sylvia, now that we are away from the ears of the marketplace. In all my many months spent in Rafta, I have not yet made time to admire its most famous landmark.
Hey, you've been busy, right?
Nay, gentle Sylvia, make no excuses for me. Say instead that we shall rectify this problem. For rectify it we shall, together. This very day, this very moment! Because it is right over there, you see it? Tut, I do not know what to think, Sylvia. I do not know how to feel. My gut is a swirl of indistinct emotions, like fish beneath the ice. On the one flipper, this statue is unquestionably an impressive display of prowess. On the other, it represents an ugly history.
What history is that?
The story goes that this statue was erected by many hands under much duress. They say Maven turned her great mental powers on the people, that she wielded them as tools. And thus, the crux of my confusion. Can I admire the artwork in isolation from the context of its creation?
I don't know. Haven't we all got enough to worry about without adding philosophical quandaries to the mix?
Bah! Ignore philosophy at your own peril, Sylvia. This is the entire purpose of art, to confront us with questions that have no easy answers. The alternative is an unexamined life, devoid of true grace. Also, do not forget, where I am concerned, these are religious concerns, not merely aesthetic ones. And so, I find I cannot see beauty in a creation that is tainted by such ego and cruelty as this. At best, perhaps I can learn from its technical proficiency. If nothing else, it is impressive in that regard.
You're pretty impressive yourself. I bet you could do better with the right resources.
You flatter me, I think. Yet, you also inspire my competitive spirit. So if you find yourself in possession of 300 tons of granite, I should be happy to try to outdo it. And what a feat that would be, eh? To match its balance of formal elements. To find such an impactful use for anti-gravity enchantments.
Sounds like you could teach a class on this stuff.
I would rather do than teach, and I would much rather outdo than imitate. It is intimidating, however, the thought of creating some great work in a land where it will be compared to this one. Fortunately, I have developed a tough skin for critics. That is necessary in our line of work, is it not? To fortify our egos, to reinforce our very souls against undeserved hostility.
I can take anything they throw at me.
Good! Then let us return now to our own endeavors. I do not like how this statue's eyes seem to follow us.
防御カードはなかなか悪くないな。ストレス減少カードも来てくれないだろうか。
Is it okay if I multitask while we chat? It's just some mindless clerical work. In fact, if you want to chip in, 6 hands are always better than 4. Wait, hold up! Oh my wow, look at that! There's a typo on here. I guess these are useless, unless I want the whole town asking me what a marketing guru is. But I guess this means we can just chill? Let me get you a refreshment. Do you prefer coffee or tea?
I could go for some coffee.
Yum, my fave! But do you want actual coffee or a coffee-based beverage?
A beverage sounds perfect.
Doesn't it just? How about a cappuccino or a mochaccino?
On second thought, nothing for me, thanks.
Frozen with indecision? I know the feeling. Most days I just throw a little bit of everything into an oversized mug and call it breakfast. You know how it is. Running a business all by yourself, it uses every single part of your brain, often all at once.
I know what you mean. Yesterday, I got distracted and accidentally used my wand as a toothbrush.
At least you remembered to brush. I am a planner by nature. With as much as we have going on in our lives, planning ahead is critical. But even the best laid plans can be like a bright light that beckons you toward disaster. We have no choice but to be flexible at times. Winging it can be a little stressful, sure, but sometimes it's the best move available.
使う予定はない。
I can think on my toes when I need to.
And you know what helps with that? Sugar! Would you like something sweet? I have macarons, macaroons, little gummy things, sour little gummy things, some chocolate-covered gelatinous cubes.
ルナのカードはどうしてこうも使いづらいものばかりなんだろうな。ストレス溜まったらストレスカードでまともに行動できないですからね。
Wow, it's hot down here.
You flirty thing, you.
No, I mean it. It's sweltering.
There was a frost enchantment keeping the lava's heat in check. I deactivated it, then threw on some kindling for good measure. I like the heat. Like most demons, I grew up underground.
Just be careful not to burn the place down, please.
I suppose I can avoid that, but it's hardly fair that you keep amending the terms of our arrangement.
I think don't set my house on fire is a pretty reasonable request.
You're right. Of course you're right. Oh, truly, Sylvia, you are a font of wisdom without equal.
And you're laying it on a little thick.
Sometimes pandering is the best way to steer a conversation in your favor. Dignity be damned.
デバフを消すか予防するカードがあれば使えなくもないか。でもそれなら1コスにしてくれんか。
Who has time for dignity anyway?
Wield the power responsibly, dear protégé. Now, as toasty as it is in here, I find myself in need of more kindling. Care to come along? Here we are. There's bound to be abundant driftwood along the shore.
I assumed we'd be buying kindling from a vendor. I know this one druid.
There are some things you must do yourself.
Was that a spell?
It's a ritual, but not a magical one. I don't mean to be secretive, but I tend to be private about my heritage. You could say I'm still working out exactly what it means to be a demon living on the surface. Suffice to say, there's a ritualistic significance to the gathering of fuel for the hearth. So please keep your eye out for more driftwood, but allow me to carry it all myself.
Whatever you say. I want to respect your traditions.
Particularly the traditions that save you from manual labor, hmm? I'm only teasing. I appreciate you taking this seriously. And every demon carries their own kindling during the week of 1,000 pyres.
I'm not familiar with the Week of 1,000 Pyres.
It's a time of great importance to my people. You see, demons didn't always live below ground. Long ago, we called the surface home, until generations of conflict finally forced my ancestors to flee their homes. They left everything behind and undertook a great migration. But still, that wasn't enough to satisfy their oppressors. The exiles were pursued by their enemies. Ultimately, they were backed against a mountain range. Things looked dire. Lighting pyres for their fallen, the exiles despaired for the future of demonkind. Then, in the light of those many pyres, something was illuminated in the seemingly endless rock of the mountains. It was a cavern that led to a vast network of underground tunnels. More than that, it was salvation. We've lived underground ever since, and 1 week each year we keep our hearths blazing in memory of those who came before.
That's a beautiful story, but so sad. I can't believe I've never heard it before.
They say history is written by the victors. But I've found survivors tell the more compelling tales. Thank you for allowing me to share mine. I'm far from home, Sylvia. To my knowledge, I'm the only demon on this entire landmass. It's not in my nature to feel lonely. But when demonic holidays like this roll around, I think of the people I've left behind. I think of my family. And I'm glad not to be entirely alone here.
I'm right upstairs if you ever need me. After all, I miss my family too. We had this holiday tradition where we'd all wear blindfolds and touch gross stuff. Good times.
I've lived among humans for years, and you still manage to baffle me. Thanks all the same. I'm not sure I realized how much this particular holiday meant to me until just now. It's not altogether irritating to be sharing it with you.
よし、店開けるか。ライフコーチの効果で初手じゃなくても初手が発動するようになってます。なんで初手カードを少し増やしてる。緊張ストレスのコンボがゴミすぎる。ストレス10以上になった時点でわかりやすく影響出るんだぞ。これなんでストレス6食らってんだ？半減してシールド3あったのに、どういう計算式？いや、50% 減だから緊張の 100% 増加と差し引かれて 50% 増加にされたのか。じゃあ強すぎだろ緊張。心を奪うがめっちゃ強力なカードになってる。 まずい、デバフ見落としててカード2枚も使っちまった。ハート3つか。来たかストレスカード、まだマシだ。暴力ねえし、やはり最初のターンカード3枚なのきつすぎるな。まともに交渉できたのはここまで、ストレスが溜まりすぎた。また会話していきます。
Oh boy, ice cream! And you're treating?
Least I can do, Teach. Since you've been so kind as to take me under your fin. I've been called a lot of names over the years. Most of them more or less deserved. But nobody ever had cause to call me a mooch.
And nobody's ever called me late to ice cream.
So, what'll you have? Me? I'm in the mood for one of the meat flavors.
I must have it. It looked better in the picture.
Hold on. That's supposed to be the thing from the picture? Don't know why you'd want such an abomination to begin with, but that ain't it.
I mean, it's fine. It's going to taste great. And that's the whole point, really.
Nuh-uh, don't do that. Don't make excuses for someone else's failings. And don't settle for less than you were promised either. You wanted the monstrosity from the photo, and that's what you'll get. Leave it to me. See, I just can't help but wonder if we've got a case of false advertising on our hands. As the manager, I'll bet you could personally craft a new one that looks a lot better, yeah? Really show your ice cream slingers how to earn their minimum wage. Unless you want me to come back there and do it myself.
Now this is more like it. Look at all the gold on this one.
Yeah, seems they were out of the gold flakes, so the manager kindly dipped into his own salary. Careful as you eat it. Might still be some whole coins in there.
Jackpot! I can't believe I've gone from a free dessert to a profitable one.
Hey, what can I say? I'm a wheel greaser. In fact, I've been working my magic all over town. You'll find pretty much everybody is ready to cut you a deal.
Wow, seriously? That's going to be huge for my bottom line.
Didn't I tell you, Teach? I knew I'd find some way to repay you. And if I went above and beyond in this instance, well, maybe I'm getting a little sweet on you.
Maybe I am too. Or maybe it's just the sugar rush.
Either way, I'm glad we did this. And I look forward to gobbling up more of your wisdom. Soon as we're done gobbling up this ice cream. I gotta finish mine before the flies get to it.
クーポン優秀すぎんか。ライフコーチの減額だけだと思ってたから全く期待してなかったわ。次はミント。
It's time to do our civic duty, Sylvia. It's a good thing you're wearing gloves. Nothing can withstand the caustic saliva of the mustachioed lizard, including nasty little microbes.
Does that also include this bucket? Because I think it's starting to smoke.
Whoops! We'd better hurry and hit as many spots as we can. Phew! It feels so good to do something normal. Well, normal for me. The hunt for a legendary weapon has been eventful, but exhausting.
What's the latest?
I've been keeping an ear out for rumors, and I finally heard a promising one about a masterwork sword hidden in the heart of the forest. I tried to get a party together, but my guildmates are super wary of that part of the forest on account of the endless eerie fog. So, I spent hours wandering around alone in the mist. I'm sure I was walking in circles at one point, but I didn't give up. I have the blisters to prove it!
Did you ever find the sword?
Yeah, but it was totally rusted. I guess if you're ever looking to stash a blade away for a generation or two, you shouldn't leave it in a damp, mist-shrouded forest. At least I got my steps for the day.
That's looking on the bright side, as usual.
Hey, I'm not gonna mope. I've got plenty of other leads to follow. But, to be honest, I hope I get my hands on something soon. I'm starting to have visions of myself as a washed-up wannabe. If I'm not careful, I could end up like the very first hero I ever met.
Your first encounter with a hero didn't go well, I take it.
Not for him. It was less than a year ago. I'd started working shifts in the family warehouse. My dad's run a regional distribution hub. Imports, exports, mostly catnip.
Wow, catnip is big business, isn't it?
Oh yeah, cat pirates buy in bulk. According to the stories, they used to sail up and down the coasts, setting fires and causing mayhem. Regular, dependable access to catnip keeps everyone happy and at peace, which is why it was cause for concern. when a man came to our door and claimed our catnip storage facility had been infested by slimes. He pointed out the telltale trails of goo all along the perimeter of the building. My dads were pretty panicked about it. But this guy, he was a licensed hero, he said. A freelance troubleshooter looking for work. My dads were only too happy to pay him to take care of the slimes. As for me, well, you can probably imagine how excited I was. I followed him everywhere, hounding him with questions, watching him like a three-eyed ferret. That's how I discovered it was all a scam. The only slimes in our warehouse were the ones he set loose there.
Ugh, what a creep. You must have been so disappointed.
Point of fact, I was furious, Sylvia. Really mad. I chased him off our property with a +1 stapler. Then, without even stopping to think about it, I vanquished the slimes he'd left behind. My first battle, and they were defeated handily. After that, I felt this surge of confidence and clarity. I knew I owed it to myself to give my childhood dream a shot. So I started looking for opportunities to make a move. When Rafta's guild put out the call for recruits, I knew I'd found the opportunity I was looking for.
And unlike that phony hero, you've been doing an incredible job.
Thanks, but let's be real. I can always do better. That's what my quest is all about. Gaining the power to level up. Then again, they say power corrupts. What if I get my hands on a powerful weapon and it changes me? What if I go all Dark Mint, Destroyer of Worlds?
I'll keep you in check, I promise. Even if I must strike you down in order to save you.
I believe you could do it too, Sylvia. Okay, with you in my corner, I suppose I don't have to worry so much.
So you keep looking for a weapon?
Yeah, I'm no quitter. And sometimes it's not until your back's against the wall that you see what you're really capable of. That's when you break out the Blitz. You know what I mean?
これいいな。
You know I do.
Good. I'll keep you posted on my quest. And don't worry. I'm sure I'll have good news soon.
I hope you can overlook the throbbing vein in my temple, Sylvia. Generally, I'm quite good at keeping my composure when upset, but that vein will betray me every time. Seeing you, of course, is the greatest balm I could ask for. Stay for a spot of tea? I'm brewing some as we speak. Careful, it's hot. It's an interesting variety I found at the marketplace. It was quite inexpensive, and it also varnishes brooms. Sugar helps.
The tea is great. But why don't you tell me what got you upset?
As a matter of fact, I'm just back from seeing Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn can have that effect.
I know they're a friend of yours, so I thought of them when it came time to sell the bits I'd harvested from that forest slime. And would you believe Quinn offered me next to nothing for my goods?
Quinn wouldn't try to rip you off. They're gruff, but honest. And they know their stuff.
Oh, I realize that. Because after seeing Quinn, I went to 3 other merchants. They all gave me a similar quote. Low-level monster guts just aren't worth all that much, and they're worth less every day as we gain access to more potent and dangerous reagents. I did the math, Sylvia. A hero would have to bag 30 of these things to afford a single meal.
Well, you're used to pretty exorbitant meals. But I take your point. It's hard work to be a hero.
I knew it was hard work. I knew it was dangerous work. I had naively assumed the compensation would reflect that.
So, heroes don't get any sort of salary?
The guild pays each hero a token stipend. The sum is so small it's mostly a formality. The bulk of a hero's income is meant to come from quest fees and from the loot they sell. That can be lucrative, in theory. Every once in a while, a hero will stumble upon a genuine treasure trove. But statistically speaking, they're twice as likely to be struck by lightning, and 3 times as likely to be implanted with a subcutaneous X-sac. And then, of course, if they do strike gold, the guild always gets a substantial cut.
It sounds like the solution is simple. The smaller the guild's cut, the more gold you're putting in the pockets of the heroes.
If only it were as easy as that. Alas. The Heroes Guild is a for-profit enterprise. It's a machine designed to generate revenue, and to put that revenue into the hands of the stakeholders.
Meaning your family.
That's right. They've invested quite a lot to get this chapter up and running. An endeavor such as this, it isn't inexpensive. And they expect to see a significant return on their investment. So far, everything appears to be on track. If the guild is a machine, then it is a very efficient one. Therefore, from the company's point of view, nothing at all is wrong. Everything is working precisely as intended. Voluntarily reducing our profit in order to enrich our contractors? Out of the goodness of our hearts? It simply isn't done. It flies in the face of the company's entire purpose.
But morale is obviously important to you, even if there isn't a line for it on the company ledgers.
That's the truth, and it's the crux of my dilemma. But while I don't yet have any answers, I feel hopeful. After all, it's only after a problem's been identified that it can be resolved. The trick now is simply to find the common ground. That's the best way to ensure everyone comes away satisfied.
これと別の軽減カード使えば 100% 減になるか?
I can see how that philosophy could work for me, too.
You're already doing it! After all, you and I come from different worlds. But you have always felt like a kindred spirit.
You're sweet. I like that about you.
I am happy that you enjoy it. And if you like sweetness, perhaps I can get you a bit more sugar for your tea? I notice you haven't touched it, and I feel we should drink it down quickly. Before it melts my good porcelain.
今日は店開けないのでこいつも行っちゃおうか。
There's a bomb! What? Where?
Hi, Sylvia. There's no bomb.
Yeah, don't spill your sand or anything. I just wanted to make a point. You gotta start out loud and bombastic if you want to grab someone's attention.
Good tactic. Or maybe that's the massive adrenaline rush talking.
Hey, put that energy to use. You want to help us out again?
What's on the agenda? More vendettas?
This is bigger than that. Way bigger. we gotta plan out tomorrow's naps.
Naps? Seriously?
It sounds like a small thing, but naps are important, Sylvia.
Yeah, there's an old rhyme to help you remember. Rested pirates, nice and quiet. Cranky pirates, they start riots.
The tricky part is that pirates will only nap in a patch of direct sunlight.
Yeah, we gotta account for the precise position of the sun.
Which changes by minor degrees each day, as do the exact number of minutes between dawn and dusk.
But wait a minute. What if it's cloudy tomorrow?
And get ready for some riots!
Maybe I should board up my windows just in case.
I forget you're fragile. I promised Pepper I wouldn't stress you out so much. Little weird that a sweet kitten like you would choose to set up shop on an island like this. Given that it's overrun with mutants and monsters, I mean.
Monsters? Bring 'em on. I was hoping I'd get to see a dragon or something by now.
Hey, there's the swagger. Sylvia the Slayer here don't back down from no monsters, right?
Monsters aren't so scary.
Whatever you say, Captain.
Monsters are just like any other living thing. They need to eat, they need to sleep, they know fear. And that makes them vulnerable.
You see, Pepper believes in being prepared. He's got a strategy to single-pointedly take down any monster you could name.
Even krakens? The last time one of them surfaced, it took a whole team of heroes to put it down.
As a pirate, I've given the matter of krakens a lot of thought. The question is, where are you fighting it? On land, it quickly dries out. This makes it slower and its skin grows papery and weak. I would recommend pinning its limbs to the ground. This will either leave it landlocked and vulnerable, or force it to sever its own tentacles to return to the sea.
Yeesh.
On the water, it's a more difficult fight, but the kraken swallows its prey whole. My plan would be to get swallowed while fully armed, and hack my way free through its unprotected innards. That might not work for you. Humans don't have great night vision.
Or strong enough stomachs, I think.
In the end, it's about planning ahead and controlling the field of battle.
I'm convinced. How about you?
The Heroes Guild needs to hear this. They could put these strategies to use.
Sure, they could. For a modest subscription-based fee. But enough daydreaming. We got piratical stuff to get back to. Which may or may not involve showing some belligerent beasties who's really in charge out there.
今回はここまでにします。おつ。